Okay, first lab. So congratulations. Try to get you to do something at home. I should be able to do it with the stuff that's around you. So let me know if you have trouble with it. So the idea is just take some measurements and get accustomed to graphing it. So graphing is a way that we're going to use to connect mathematical relationships to the physical world around us, right? This is what physics is all about, and graphing is one of the key ways that we'll go about that. So we'll try to get comfortable with that, and this is just an example to get you started on thinking about it. So I'm going to ask you to measure and then graph some stuff. So circles. So hunt around your house, see if you can find some circles. I found in my cupboard some Harmony, Beauty, and notice it's got a circle on the bottom. So I want you to measure really 4 different things from this. So the first thing I'm asking you to measure from each of them is the diameter and the circumference. Right? So ideally, you'll have a ruler. Centimeters are best. If you only have an inch ruler, that's okay. If you don't have a ruler, you can print off one of these centimeter grid papers, right, and figure out how far it is. If you don't have a printer, hopefully you can hold it to the screen and make a good estimate. So it doesn't have to be super exact, but it is to generate some data that we can use. Okay, so you can measure diameter, and second thing I'm asking you to measure is circumference. Yes, you can calculate it, but don't. See if you can measure it. So a couple ways to go about that. So if you have a flexible ruler, you can stretch it around. This one's not going to work, right? But one of the things I like to do, I can put a mark on here, put it down on my 0. I'll take this so you can see it. Put down my 0 mark, and then I can roll my can until I get back to that 0 mark, and then see where that comes out. So I'm going to call this about 22 centimeters. You can do a better job than I did there. But one way that you could use something flat to measure something that's circular. Also, you have 1 centimeter paper that I've left a link for you can print off, and it's pretty flexible. So you can find a way to measure. So, but do measure circumference and diameter. Second thing I'm going to ask you to measure is radius and area. So radius, well, you can figure that one out sort of from half the diameter, or if you want to, you can draw a series of lines, find the middle point, and measure it directly from the middle. Area, though, that's where this grid paper comes in really handy. So I've left links for you for 1 centimeter grid paper, or also a link for 1 inch square paper. So if you can, print off a copy. Easiest way to go about this is to make a drawing, and then once I have that representation of the circle, I'm just going to count squares. Right? So I'm going to call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across, and 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll call it 5 down. So this area, 6 times 5, is going to be 30 squares. So 30 square centimeters. And then I can add up these other ones. 31, 32, 33, 34. And I'm going to estimate, right? So don't get into fractions, right? I'm going to call, these 3 together. I'm going to say that adds up to 1, and so on. So anyway, you want to add up the number of square centimeters. Again, we're doing it by measurement, so not by calculating. So yes, you could calculate it, but I'm going to ask you to make a measurement. So we're going to use this data for some stuff. So hang on to it, it's handy to have. As always with this, to get a graph or a curve, you're going to need at least 5 data points, right? So you got to find 5 round things that you can measure. 7's a little better, right? Let's go look at my cup, my glass, right? So I've got 1 circle on the bottom, 1 circle on the top, so I can get 2 out of that one. Hunt around, see what you can find. So there's all sorts of things hopefully you can find. The limitation for me is how big my graph paper is, so I can get a plate down here, a small plate. I can get a bowl, different sizes, and I can get some smaller stuff too. So I'm going to look in the spice rack, see if you can find something that's round. Anyway, that's the data I'm going to ask you to collect. I'm going to show you how to plot that in a separate video, because plotting things in Google Sheets is really important, and it's a great time saver once you get accustomed to it. So anyway, give it a try. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.